All right, hey guys, what's going on? Needs more drums back in our yet to be named city for another episode in City Skylines 2. I've just been having a lot of fun with this game, so sorry that you're seeing more City Skylines 2 videos lately. Again, Brzezinski in City Skylines 1 is not dead. I've just really been wanting to play this game a little bit, and videos for that will be back very, very soon. Once I find the time to get back into the game and make some progress, which hopefully will be this week. But like I've said in a couple of my previous videos, I recently have just moved to the city, and so recording and editing and stuff has kind of been on the back burner. And as I work out all this stuff with the move. But for now, we're back, and I'm super excited today because I want to do a couple things. So let's jump in and get right to it and talk about what we're going to do. All right, so as we know, the game is still a little rough around the edges. It's not super refined. There's still quite a few bugs, and especially I feel like it's got to be like the economy's got to be a bug. There's no way that like we're not able to turn a profit at all yet. I mean, I guess we do have budgets now, which is interesting. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, nice. Actually, I didn't realize this was in the game, to be honest with you. I thought it was a little bit of a lost feature, but cool. Yeah, this is good news. So yeah, we can mess with this a little bit maybe and get rid of some of these, decrease some of these resources. Also, I did bump up the tax rate once. I guess I could bump it up again since everybody's really, really happy. Yeah, sorry guys. More money for me. Okay, cool. And for them too. More money means we get more services, so that's good. Still no loans, but yeah, we're getting really, really close, and I'm curious if we can start making a profit pretty soon. And if I maybe mess with these services, I bet it can create something. But yeah, this is another thing, like these production chains. I mean, granted, I don't have any of this specialized industry yet, but it'll be nice once we get that, so that we can maybe see these work a little bit. But I'm sure this still has some refining to be done, pun intended. Industry, get it? Yep, cool. Anyway, okay, so what I want to do today. So the first thing that I want to do is clean this pathway up. I hate this. I think this looks disgusting. This whole area kind of is like, but it's fine. Once the trees grow a little bit, I'm sure it'll look a little bit better. But like, what was I thinking here? It's just bad. Like, ugh, what? Second thing is I actually want to spend some time. We've kind of been throwing around like just these random zoned medium density buildings, and some of them I like and some of them I don't. And we still have these low density buildings here. Like, what the heck's going on? So I think we're going to spend a little time today, clean up kind of this whole area here, this whole like waterfront kind of. And I know we don't have any like keys or anything like that. I swear, I think that's how you pronounce it, right? Keys, quays, whatever. It's spelled Q-U-A-Y. You know what I'm talking about. But those barriers, those water walls. Yeah, water walls. That's what we'll call them for now. All right, yeah. So we don't have any of those water walls or anything like that. So we kind of got to make do with what we have. And I think like something like this, looks nice from a distance, right? You got the pathways, and then you have people just kind of being able to walk along the water, and you have some nice trees and things kind of right along the water's edge. So I think we'll do something similar to that, kind of over here. Maybe I know I said in the last episode that I didn't want to develop this, but I think we're going to develop it a little bit tastefully. You know what I mean? Nothing overdone, but we're going to make it look good. So that's one thing that I want to do. And then we'll refine this downtown a little bit. It looks super ugly and I hate it. So we might just even delete a lot of the buildings and rebuild them. But I always hate to do that, but we'll see. We'll make it work. All right. So we got that. And then the third thing that I want to do, which might be a little bit ambitious today, is I want to kind of fill out the area from like this road to like this train line here, like this whole area a little bit. I kind of want to build that. And I don't want to get over here yet. This is going to be like its own thing. But I think over here, at the very least, we could get some higher density in here. And I know we don't really have a demand for high density, so I might just start filling out low density over here on the other side of this highway. because this is kind of where I want the city to not end, but I want to start transitioning to some suburbs over here anyway. So I think that might be a good spot to do it, like over here. So yeah, so 3 things. One, 2, 3, 3.5 if we need to fill some low density. So I think I'm just gonna get building and probably jump into a time lapse. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys in a second in the time lapse. All right, guys, welcome to the time lapse. So a couple things about this episode. You're gonna see me jump around a lot, and I'm probably gonna mention that later in the episode and in future episodes. Just like something about the way that the game kind of works right now with how the demand fluctuate. It's really hard to just focus on one area. So you're gonna see me kind of, zone one area, then jump to another area, zone that, then jump back and zone that, and then just all over the map right now. I'm just kind of going to be zoning a bunch of different areas. But right here, I decided to redo some of the pathways by this school. I think it looks a little bit better now. And I kind of like to put the pathways right up against the buildings because of the contrast with some of the terrain textures. Like you'll see the grass for the school is a little bit, it's this really light green, and compared to just the undeveloped grass areas that are a little bit darker green with some more texture, I like to separate those. So having the pathways right up against the building footprint, it really helps to be able to do that. And, just putting down some trees for now. I'm probably going to delete these as they grow because some of them will probably be a little bit too big, but it's hard to tell when you just plop them down like this because they're in the, they're very young. And so they're very short and don't take up a lot of space. So, it's hard to get a good sense of just how big some of these trees are going to get. And so we'll revisit these areas a little bit later once these trees have some time to grow. But yeah, I do have something kind of cool planned for the next episode, so stay tuned for that. I don't know, maybe cool, but not necessarily cool, but just different. So it's going to be a different kind of episode. But while we come back to this area over here, this area needs a lot of redevelopment, and I didn't really like how this part of the city looked. It was a little bit kind of seemed out of place, and a lot of the buildings were almost, either too big or there was a weird transition between the medium density and the low density, and everything, just the orientation of a lot of the buildings was just strange. And like this main road here wasn't there, even though this is probably going to be a pretty busy road. And so I decided to extend this all the way to this first part of the city. This is like the first part of the city that we built here. There's that roundabout up there towards the top of the screen that was literally there when we first jumped into the map. And I do like this feature where you can kind of offset the upgrade a little, the road upgrade a little bit. So you'll see that intersection isn't exactly a perfect straight intersection. It kind of is offset a little bit. But the reason I did that is because I avoided having to move that police station. So I wanted to keep that police station there, and that upgrade tool allowed me to do that. But yeah, just I wanted to keep this area as a little bit of a park, kind of an awkward shaped space. Those spaces always are really good for, leaving some open green space and, parks and pathways and things like that. And, so that was what I did there. And I do that a lot, around the city. And you'll see me do that in, future parts of the city as well, because that's just, in my opinion, the best way to fill like those weird open spaces. But anyway, so yeah, as I was saying, filling this area with some row houses is kind of a nicer transition to some of the lower density spots compared to just having these apartment buildings and then these low density commercial buildings and then like the low density homes. Having this medium density to row houses to low density is a little bit more of a natural progression, and it looks a little bit better too. But there are still going to be some medium density buildings here, and you'll see a little bit later we'll even experiment with some of the mixed zoning. So the commercial on the bottom with the residential on top, those fit really well with this part of the city. And we're gonna put some of those down as well. But yeah, you'll like I said right here, we're jumping around. We're already in like completely the other side of the city because we basically used up all of our medium density demand over in the other part that you just saw, and now we're into low density demand. So I decided to expand out some of these little, not really suburbs, but just the lower density parts of the city. And so we're still following kind of a pretty pretty rigid grid-like pattern, but these are going to be, just really kind of compact single family homes. You know, I think these parts of cities are always kind of cool because they still have like a city layout with a lot of, you know, main roads, and you know, they're still very grid-like, but they also are just filled with single family homes, and you know, there's no apartments or anything. So this is kind of going to be the transition into some of the suburbs and things in this part of the city. But yeah, we needed more industry. We always need more industry in this city. There's like so much of a demand for it. It's ridiculous. So kind of, again, jumping around to a completely different part of the city here, zoning out the industry. And then now we're back here to check out how some of these buildings are doing, and just kind of fill in these spaces. And I did learn a trick from, you know, watching some other YouTube videos that I didn't do in this episode because I'm recording this commentary after the fact. But for future episodes, there's a trick where if you put a pathway down against, like, say that building up right there on the left is oriented to that road on the left, as opposed to the same orientation as these row houses that you're seeing. Well, what you could do is you could put a pathway down and essentially put, you know, force the zoning orientation to change. You could put a pathway between, like, up against the road that you don't want it to zone on, and then it will change all those other tiles to zone on a different road, whatever road is, you know, next to it. So that's kind of a cool way to expand out, you know, some of the zonable areas in the way that you want. And am I going to do that for every single zonable area? No, because it's tedious, and it doesn't, you know, sometimes it's not going to make a lot of sense. But for some of these spots, it could actually be really helpful. So not saying that I'm going to go back to this area and like rezone everything, but I think in the future, you know, just kind of want to keep that in mind. If there's really just a part of the city that I want to look, you know, organized and everything have the same orientation, then that's going to be a trick that we'll be able to use. And I'll show you guys, you know, stay tuned in the next episode or two. I'm going to be able to start using that a little bit. But because I'm a little bit ahead on videos right now. But anyway, yeah, see, again, you know, we're just jumping around, zoning, filling in some spots, kind of cleaning some spots up. And here, though, we're actually expanding out the main road because I wanted to kind of get some ideas of how I want to develop this coast. This doesn't stay like this at all. I mean, in the next episode, we tried to build it up, and then a little bit of a foreshadowing. But then in the episode after that, it's going to be totally different. And we have some plans, or maybe not in the episode after that, maybe 2 episodes. But anyway, basically, I don't like what I end up doing here. You know, this whole waterfront area is going to end up changing. And right now we're just trying to get, you know, an idea of what it might look like, and, you know, trying to fulfill some of this demand. So yeah, don't just take all this with a grain of salt. It might change and everything. But yeah, you can see here, you know, I just placed down a little while ago some of those mixed use buildings, like right there on the corner, those blue tiles at the top of the screen now. Those are really coming in handy for this area. They fit in pretty well, and, you know, it helps fulfill some of that commercial demand and residential demand. So yep, that's about it though. Let's go ahead and jump back into the live play. Okay, so I did want to take a little bit of a break from the time lapse to talk about some of the things. Just I got some thoughts on my mind about where the city is going, and, you know, so far I'm liking this area a little bit better. I know I'm kind of envisioning, you know, where some of these more concrete areas would be, like concrete meaning like, you know, pavement and paved areas, you know, like kind of back here. This really wouldn't be a lot of green space. There'd probably be some parking lots and stuff here. So in the future, you know, when we do maybe get some custom assets in the game, you know, I've kind of been watching like some of $2.20's videos, and he kind of talks about the same thing. You know, he's like saying that he's kind of designing his city to be prepared for some of the custom assets that will most likely be in the game. And hopefully they have something like Surface Painter, you know, or some way to plop down some concrete pads or something like that. So, you know, right here would be like a perfect example of that, right? Because this really isn't zonable. There's nothing, you know, that I could do here. See, it's like, it's kind of is what it is. I mean, I guess I can try to put another building here, but we'll see if these even develop. I don't know if 2x2s will even develop for this zoning type, but nonetheless, that we'll come back to that, you know, at a later date or something. You know, maybe we can even zone. We can do this. Can we do just medium density? Well, anyway, yeah, we'll see. So either way though, I'm liking the way this area kind of has turned out a little bit better than before. I mean, it definitely looks, you know, less random and a little more planned. So I'm happy with that. I also upgraded this road, you know, all the way over here. That's the thing about this. Oh no, it's been abandoned. Oh, there's literally like no office demand. Okay. Which reminds me, I need to think about building a college somewhere over here. So maybe we'll think about that too. Maybe not this episode, but definitely in the next one. But yeah, so like what I want to do here is kind of, first of all, I want to figure out where I should put like a train station, because this part of the city is going to need a train station. And I'm thinking about putting, you know, some bigger one maybe over here, but I would like to put one over here as well. And then maybe the line can even branch out, come along this way. But I feel like that'd be kind of counterproductive. I don't know if they would really build something like that, but yeah, it would be nice to build something over here. Let's just see what we have in the realm of trains, because I haven't really done anything with that yet. So we do need a rail yard before we can even build any kind of train station. And I don't know how big the train station is. So man, we're gonna have to see once we build this. I mean, this yard is massive. I don't know where we're gonna put this yet. Luckily, we do have a lot of flat land over here by some of the industrial areas. Maybe we'll put it kind of over here in this other part of town. Yeah, I guess that's gonna come at a later date then. We're not gonna worry about train lines right now. And I do like where this train line is. I do want to keep it here. But I do envision that we're gonna have some other ones, you know, kind of branching out to some of the other parts of the city as we develop. But for now, let's just go ahead and kind of keep building out this part, and we'll start kind of bleeding into the downtown over here. And just so we kind of have an idea of like what the roads are going to look like, let's go ahead and kind of drag out some roads. And I realize now that maybe this wasn't like the best idea, because now we're going to have some really, really strange road networks here. And I'm debating if I should change this or not, but I kind of don't want to. I kind of want to work around this interchange, and maybe, you know, this area just won't be as developed for now. So why don't we go ahead and just kind of experiment with some of these road layouts. And again, I know we have these castle ruins just everywhere, and I kind of want to relocate it. Nah, I don't know. Oh, I guess I can, but I don't want to. I'm just gonna get rid of it. It's fine. Yeah, it's okay. We'll I'm sure there are some more around the map, and we'll preserve one of them if it's out kind of off the beaten path. Like, still, that's right where our downtown wants to sit, man. There's so many castle ruins all over the place. It's okay. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and, like I said, let's lay out these road networks here and kind of get this area a little more fleshed out. And man, I just noticed too, there's a massive hill right here. I had no idea. I'm gonna get rid of that, because I usually don't like to mess with the terrain too much in City Skylines, but I feel like this kind of warrants an exception, because I have planned for this area and I'm kind of upset there's a giant hill there that I didn't even realize existed. So let's kind of just level. I'm curious though, what's the height difference between, like, this train line looks like it's kind of elevated on the hill, and we'll come back and probably level out that train line too at a later point, or just elevate it, you know, because it does have to cross this river. So let's just get rid of this, because I'm not too happy about that at all. You know, so we'll fix up this train line a little bit later, but yeah, it does look like there's a little bit of a difference. It does kind of increase in height by the water, it looks like, and then it decreases here, which is kind of strange. But yeah, I might actually just have this road kind of follow like this curvature here, and then we can leave this for maybe like some kind of a nice park area. I always like to have those kind of by the water in a more densely populated area. And since this is going to be, it's not really a big area, right? But it does have a little bit of opportunity to have some denser buildings, and, you know, maybe some taller buildings here, just a kind of a small downtown. And that's what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be kind of reminiscent of you know, a lot of the cities, sort of, you know, in the areas like in the Midwest, you know, that there's a lot of very small kind of, but still dense cities. Like you look at like Indianapolis and Milwaukee, right? They have, you know, these downtown areas that are not, there's nothing like Chicago where there's like this massive, insanely huge downtown area, but there are still some, you know, some one-way streets, some skyscrapers, like things like that. So that's kind of what I'm going for here, is just something like that, not obscenely large, but just giving this still like the city feel, you know, a big city feel. So we'll see if we can kind of accomplish that here in just a minute. And another thing too is like I'm trying to think about where the main roads are going to be, right? So we have a lot of these connections to like this first road here, and so I'm envisioning that those are going to be kind of where a lot of the quote unquote main roads are going to sit, right? So this road coming here, this is going to be a main connection point to this other pretty big city block. And I'm thinking that I want to go actually and start building off of this grid once we get over this way. So let's see if we can find a good way to connect some of these roads here so that we can actually make that happen. Yep, that's what we wanted to do. So that'll be a good connection point. It'll be kind of a not you know, a huge main road, but another way to get all the way to the other part of the city there. And I'm sure, you know, I do wish that they had this size road, but with the 4 lanes, so just like no parking. They don't have like a 1 tile 4-lane road. They only have, you know, these bigger ones. So that's kind of a disappointment. I know they added those in the base game for Cities Skylines 1, so that they have plans to maybe add those back at a later date in Cities Skylines 2, because those roads are super useful. So you don't have to completely upgrade to an avenue and demolish buildings, but you can still get the effect of those you know, 4-lane roads, those main roads. So hopefully they add that back. If not, you know, I guess it is what it is, but it would be nice. So anyway, let's just keep on going here with some of this, and I want to get down some other highway ramps, especially like here. But this is going to be interesting because we kind of we have this bridge here and we don't really have a lot of room to work in terms of a highway. So I think what I'm going to do is maybe do something a little bit nifty. And but that is a problem though, because I do want people to be able to get off and on right here, since this is going to be like a downtown area, unless we do just kind of have it, you know, people get on here, or they get on here and then they get off here. That way we have, this isn't going to be too congested, and then we don't have anything on this side of the bridge. So I think I'm just going to do that for now and just kind of see how that works in the future. But see, so something like this is kind of what I want. And so I know that lane splitting is not ideal, but you know, at least we're kind of making better use of the space, I feel. So we're gonna roll with that for now. I don't think it's terrible. You know, could be worse. So yep, just gonna deal with it. And actually, I'm kind of liking the way that some of these blocks are lining up here. So like this road, I'll probably have as a cross street. But I don't think I'm gonna have, so like, you know, I want to do that, but this one is not going to go anywhere, right? So we can kind of see how some of these some of these highways came in and kind of broke up the existing road infrastructure. And I love kind of building that into my cities. Oh, and there's another random building that I'm going to delete. Okay. But I love building that into my cities, you know, once you kind of envision how some of this may have been in the past and then how it is now. I think it's a really realistic way to build your cities, you know, when you kind of consider things like that, like how the highways have come in and kind of changed the way that the roads all are. And so, you know, in this case, maybe, you know, this alley is now a way to connect some of these houses, but in the past, you know, maybe these roads went all the way through and connected to the main road. So just something to consider. But yeah, so we're gonna, you know, like I said, roll with that for now. And then here I actually want to use I kind of want to make this a little bit more of a rigid type grid layout. You know, since it's going to be kind of our little downtown area here, I think it makes sense to have something a little more planned. And so for that, I'm actually going to use some one-way roads. So I think we're just going to start kind of over here. Have one going that way and then another one going this way. That actually wasn't even a straight line. So let's rebuild some of those. I know that some of these city blocks are quite small, but you know, that's all right. We'll work with what we got. You know, this is a small space, and so I do kind of want to give the illusion that it's like a downtown. So having some of these small city blocks won't actually hurt, and then we can have, you know, maybe some taller buildings up here later once we have those, you know, become available. And then this, I just want to connect back up here like that, and then we'll just have this kind of continue on. And I'm guessing, you know, maybe this is where we'll put one of our train stations if we can. If not, then we'll have our main central station kind of over here. So but I would like to put a train station here kind of by the water, and maybe we can even get rid of some of this water too if we need to. It's a little bit kind of hindering our buildings, so maybe we'll see if we can do something about that. But again, I don't like to change the terrain too much, but sometimes it really does just get in the way, and it's really frustrating when you have to work with terrain like that. And so now that we kind of have this area laid out, let's just go ahead and get to zoning and kind of watch it come to life and see if it actually ends up looking good or if I end up hating it, which I think is more likely. So either way, let's give it a shot. All right, well, winter is upon us, and we've done a lot. We didn't get everything done that I actually wanted to do, but you know what? Sometimes I'm still kind of learning the game, and one thing that I've realized is that it's very, very difficult to focus on when you're only able to zone. It's very difficult to focus on building one area at a time. You kind of got to go jump around and kind of add to different parts of the city as the demand for certain things increases, right? So like this industry area wasn't here, and I kind of just had to build this as like a makeshift industry area to alleviate some of the demand. Same thing with even some of these blocks. I kind of filled in some of the areas, and I know like it's probably not gonna stay this way. I think an industrial area here might not be the worst thing, but a lot of these places are not going to stay this way, and that's kind of the difficulty of building vanilla and just having to rely on zoning. You kind of got to jump around a little bit. And same thing with like over here, like I didn't really expect. I know I said I would expand this out a little bit today with some low density, and you could see that we did, but I didn't expect to really just be zoning a lot of low density. And as you can see, like I've let the game run for a little bit, and through the rest of some of the late fall and the next couple months, and the demand is very high for everything right now. But notice like we don't have any demand for high density. We don't have any demand for offices. It's just a little bit strange. I feel like some of this stuff maybe it's weird because we did have a demand for offices at one point, and now it's just kind of gone. And I know that we don't have any higher education, like no college or university, but I think we're going to do that, probably in the next episode or something. I'd like to put one of those down and start getting people a little bit more educated. But yeah, I think I've been building a lot today, and I think I'm gonna. What is this? Traffic accident. How did that? What? Did he just fall off of the highway? I'm very confused. I am very, very confused. Welp, that is interesting to say the least. So okay, well that's fine. We'll just have that be what it is, I guess. So okay, anyway, back to the city. Yeah, I've been building quite a bit, and I'm I've just been jumping around, and I feel like I've gotten a lot done, but I haven't gotten a lot done. As you can see, we still have that whole area that I said I was going to do, this whole area that I said I was going to do. So basically we've done nothing that I said I was going to do, but we've still grown the city quite a bit. And ooh, good thing, we're making money. We're finally making some money. This is awesome. I don't know how I did it, but I did it. Yeah, we're finally in the green. So that's super cool. I think I'm gonna keep expanding some of this, and I like that I cleaned up some of these zones, especially down here. I'm way happier with this compared to how it was. It's still not great, but for vanilla, I'll take that. It's good enough. It's good enough for a little dense downtown area, and I still got to build up the waterfront. Like, oh, come on, didn't even get around to doing that, but that's fine. We're just still learning the game. Still got a few quirks and stuff that needs to be worked out probably, or maybe it might not be. That maybe it's just how the game's gonna be, which is fine. I'm still having a good time. But yeah, stay tuned for the next episode. I might just hit the ground running and get right to building and get a lot of this kind of done and see if I can do it quickly. But again, the game limitations are making it difficult to do stuff like that. So anyway, stay tuned, see how the city develops. Stay tuned for more videos from Rzinski from City Skylines 1. And also, if you'll notice, if you've noticed, I do have a farming simulator series going on right now. Just something a little fun. It's a game that I like to play, on the side, and doing a short little series on that, little fun challenge. So go check that out if you want to see some more different content from me. And if you play that game too, it's a great game. It's super relaxing, super fun. This game is also super relaxing and super fun, but those are the games that I like to play. So, yeah, go check it out, give it a try, whatever you want to do. But in the meantime, hope you all have a great week, and hope you guys are enjoying the series. I'll catch you in the next episode. Peace out. See you later.